Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tom weekly vlog, episode number 3. Should you be a real estate agent? What is it really like to be a real estate agent? Why did I even start in real estate? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's episode. As well as we've got a building and pest going on, we've got to prepare for an appraisal, and we really need to get some more listings, so there's going to be a lot of calls and a lot of follow-up. My pleasure to announce this property is now sold. To announce this one's now sold. First up, I'm going to need some coffee. And as you can see, I'm not in my car today, so I'm starting work from home. So there's no 7-Eleven at home, so we're going to have to make do with some instant coffee. Is real estate for you? And what is it really like? That's what I'd like to talk a little bit about today, and it's going to be from my experience, sharing why I'm in real estate, what I like about it, maybe even what I don't like about it, and hopefully that'll give you some idea of what the job is like, what the industry is like, so you can make a decision if it's for you or not. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you're seeing real estate accounts, flashy suits, nice houses, probably even nice cars, the fact is all of that is probably like 5% of what real estate is really about. Unlike other sales jobs, you can't just ring up the warehouse and order more stock. You've got to go out there and find somebody who owns a property that's thinking about selling and see if you can provide value, and then they can hire you, and then you have something to sell. So majority of the job, 90% easy, is all about finding stock to sell. That's cold calling, door knocking, running social media ads, reaching out to people. The more people you talk to, the more work you're going to get. That brings me to my point right now is I need some more properties to sell. So I'm going to go and make a bunch of calls to my previous clients, to some follow-up calls of people that I've given some information over the last few months. So when I sit down to do calls, I like using just pen and paper. I've got to do the prep on the computer, work out the numbers, but I like to write them in this little book. They're 15 cents. I get one a month, so everything's in there for this month. Calls that I've made, I can put in a list of people. I've got just space to be able to write notes, whatever it is at the time, just scrap around, doodle on the page while you listen to somebody talk, whatever it is, but it's all in one book for 1 month. And then from there, I can go back to the computer and add that back into my CRM system and then prep numbers for the next day. I find this the best way to make call sessions the most efficient. You're just going call, and you're not going backwards and forwards and then getting distracted by your computer and seeing an email or anything else. It keeps you on focus. As I said, majority of this job in real estate is being on the phone, talking to people, or being in person, but talking to people. So you do need to create a situation where you do not get distracted. You can sit there for an hour, 2 hours, just making calls. Because honestly, you need to be on the phone for an hour or two every single day, or you're not really in real estate. That is what the job is majority about. On the phone, reaching out to potential sellers, future sellers, even past sellers, asking them, do they know if there's anyone selling? It's just constantly reaching out to new clients. And look, from that short call session, it was about 30 minutes, I was able to secure 2 appointments, one for Thursday, one for Saturday. They're both in-person appraisals. I've already provided them information on their home as an email. So it was just a follow-up call from that initial email, and now we got in the door to see them in person. And ideally, that's where we want to be. And that was just a 30-minute call session. I did have some really good numbers. I wasn't cold calling. I was warm calling as such. Now we're going to jump on the computer and do the property price reports that I need to get done, and then I'll probably do another calling session. Another thing I like to do is break up them calling sessions. I do find after about 30 minutes, it's just hard to keep the right motivation to just sound excited and sound interested on the phone. And plus you just get a little bit tired of talking. So breaking it up throughout the day, 30-minute blocks, couple of times through the day, easily you get to your 2 hours a day of calls. So I'm on my computer now, sorry about the background, but computer's on the kitchen table. And look, I like working at home purely for the fact that there's nobody at home, so there's no distractions. If I go into the office, there's other agents that want to have a chat, there's other people around. I just like to be able to focus, do the calls and do my computer work and then go into the office. But we've got 5 property price reports to do. Now this is basically a desktop appraisal. I run Facebook ads that create this lead. From there, I provide them some value through sending them some information on their home. Part of this, I get an email address, I get a phone number, so we can do the follow-up calls the next day. That's how we just got them appraisals. But I got a little bit of work to do now. These take about 15 minutes each. I've sort of got it down pretty tight, but yeah, 5 of them, we're looking at about an hour. Another really cool thing about working from home is I get to choose the music and I don't have to listen to the music that's get played in the office. All right, so the bulk of my prospecting for today is now over. We got a bunch of calls done. We got all them property price reports emailed off, which is good. It probably was cut short a little bit because we do need to make our 11:30 appointment. I do try to do prospecting in the morning and then appointments in the afternoon, but sometimes building and pests, bank vals, you got to be a little bit flexible. Look, building and pests, bank valuations, these are all tasks that are part of the job of being a real estate agent. They're also tasks that can take up a lot of your time. And this is why I like to use the pen and paper and a phone for my prospecting, because I can just set them up and then I can go to my car, I can make a few prospecting calls. I can call some previous clients. You can still be doing work instead of just sitting around on Instagram and Facebook just wasting your time. I realized I'm using some industry terms like prospecting. And look, prospecting is an activity that it's your main activity as a real estate agent. And what it really is going out and looking for a prospect. A prospect is a future seller. So the activity is prospecting. There's a whole bunch of tasks that could fall within this activity: door knocking, cold calling, running Facebook ads. But really, prospecting is talking to people. Getting on the phone and talking to them in person, doing whatever you can to talk to people, preferably that own property and would like to do business with you. The other side of looking for work is marketing, branding yourself, making sure your community is aware of who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, and preferably how they can contact you. And it takes time to build yourself to an attraction agent where it's just all marketing, and that marketing makes people call you. But definitely at the start, you are just prospecting, prospecting, and prospecting. Why did I pick real estate? Look, to me, it is about freedoms and choices. You might be working for a business, an agency, a bigger brand, but as a commission-only agent, if you do not want to go to work, you're not going to have any boss ringing you up asking where you are and why you're not there. At the end of the day, the more work and effort you put in is the results you're going to get out of it. But this does give you choices. There's choices for me to work a good day on a Saturday when it's game day for real estate and take a Tuesday afternoon off a little bit early, pick my kids up from school, stop on the park on the way home. And it's these choices to me is why I like real estate. I can choose when I want to work and when I don't want to work. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but that choice and that gives me the freedom of creating the lifestyle that I like. And lifestyle is a really good word for it because I don't necessarily see being a real estate agent a job. I see it as a lifestyle. When I'm at the park with my kids on that Tuesday afternoon, I might get a phone call from a current seller and I'll take that. I can keep an eye on them on the slide while I'm talking to a seller, but that is a lifestyle. You're never off work, you're never on work, you're just always doing work, life, kids, family, all at the same time. And it's just creating your own blend of these things that work for you personally, like I'm working at works for me personally. Currently, I have no appointments booked in for today. So today is going to be purely focused on prospecting. I'm going to do a really big call session. I've got my book. We're going to do that before we get into the office. We're going to do some direct letters to some investors. We're going to follow up on some old leads. It's just going to be chasing work all day long. But as I've been talking about, that is really what the job is all about. constantly reaching out to people that own a property and see if they want to do business with you. So that's what I'm going to get on with. But look, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope that gave you some sort of idea about like what it's like to be a real estate agent. You saw what yesterday was like. There was one appointment, a little bit boring, most of it about prospecting. Today's all about prospecting. That is what the job is. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. If you did, let me know down in the comments and I'll see you next week. See ya.